Hi guys, how's everyone doing? My name is Dennis. In today's video, I will be talking about pressure regulators, specifically water pressure reducing valves. I will be telling you what they are, what they do, when you need one, if you don't have one, and why you should get one. I will be also telling you what kind of problems they develop and how to replace one yourself. If you happen to have one of the most common regulators, chances are you can replace it even without doing any solder work. But before you start, you need to have this water gauge. You need to attach it on your hose beep outside the house, but make sure you do attach it after the pressure regulator. Or if you don't have one, it doesn't matter where you attach it. But you want to find out what is your current pressure in the plumbing pipes. But again, if you have a pressure regulator, you need to make sure you measure it after the pressure regulator. So that way you can get the real reading. And in fact, I recommend that you leave the hose beep open into the pressure water gauge for a couple minutes, for like 4 or 5 minutes, to see if the pressure increases over time, because sometimes that's the case. Sometimes this is how you find out your pressure regulator is broken. Right after you open the faucet, it shows a normal reading, but then as time goes by, the pressure builds up. So I will include a link for this pressure gauge down in the description below. It's going to be an Amazon link, so if you'd like to purchase one, as well as I will be including links for pressure regulators and wrenches and tools in case you decide to replace your pressure regulator yourself. All right, let's talk about pressure regulators. So if you live in a master plan community in a tract home, 100% you have a pressure regulator. And the reason for that is, in order for the water district to be able to deliver enough water supply to every single house in the neighborhood, they do that at a higher flow and a higher pressure rate, so they can force enough water into everyone's home. But that pressure is too high for the safety of the plumbing system. Oftentimes that pressure that comes from the street is anywhere from 120 to 160 psi. That's way too high for the safety of a plumbing system. If you get this high pressure in your house, if you have a broken pressure regulator, you can get a pinhole leak, or a pipe can burst, or one of those flexible toilet or faucet connectors. So as you see, the pressure regulator has a direction. You should be feeding the incoming water from the bottom, and as it exits the regulator, the water pressure has been reduced to the desired rate. Normal pressure is anywhere from 25 to 75. This is what is listed on the pressure regulator tag. But 25 is kind of low. You probably need to be anywhere between 40 and 70 ideally. Now what these devices do is they still provide you plenty of water flow at a low pressure. Now you need to know water flow and water pressure are two different things. Oftentimes when I go to people's homes for service, I would notice they would have had the main shut off valve turned halfway off. And I'll tell them why. And they'll think, oh, we have a high pressure. That doesn't do anything. When you turn your main valve halfway off, that reduces the water flow, but not the pressure. Your pressure is still at the same rate. And as I said, if water flow is the measurement for how much water you get, water pressure is what determines how quick you get that water. So in other words, you can have a high water flow at a low pressure, or you can have a low water flow, trickling water at high pressure. So again, shutting off the main valve halfway doesn't do anything. You need to have a properly operating pressure reducing valve. All right, so how to replace one? First of all, you will shut off the water to the house, right? You will make sure there's no water coming into it. Then you will open some faucets. You can open your hose beep. If there's a hose beep right here, you can just open it and drain the water. And remember, there will be water coming back from the house, so it will leak a lot of water. Then you would get your pliers, and you will do something of this sort. So you want the force to remain at the fitting, at the pressure regulator. You don't want to snap the pipe. So make sure that you have two wrenches that you hold in opposite to one another. So when you are trying to unscrew, don't snap the pipe, but the pressure, rather, the force should remain at the pressure regulator and at the thread itself. Also, one helpful advice is to spray some W40 right here on the top and then on the bottom. This really does magic. It really works itself upstream and dislodges any calcification at the thread, and it makes a replacement of the pressure valve easier. Once you install, let's say the pressure coming out of the street is 120 psi, and once you install a new one, it's automatically at 60. Now you can change that. You can unscrew this bolt. By unscrewing the bolt, you would lower the pressure. So let's say if you want to be on the safe side at 40, you would turn this bolt out to reduce the pressure. In the same manner, if you turn it inwards, you will reduce the pressure. Now, one thing to know is though, in order for you to recheck and remeasure the pressure, you will actually have to open a faucet. So you want to get rid of the old pressure in order to get the new pressure. So every time you turn this bolt, make sure you open a faucet just for a second or two to get rid of the old pressure, and attach your pressure gauge to check what it is. Now, I want to show you a few things right here. As you see, I have lined up a few of them, starting at 3/4, 1 inch, 1.25 inches. So chances are, if you have one of the more common styles and models, you can replace it yourself. Let's say you have a 1 inch one. This is how it looks like on the pipe. Let's say the water comes from the bottom and goes up. So all you need to do is shut off the water to the house, open some faucets to release the water pressure. All you need to do is just unscrew this nut, and as long as you're replacing your pressure regulator with the same model, even if it's not the same exact model, at least if it's the same manufacturer, for example, this is Wilkins. If your old one is Wilkins 1 inch and you're getting a new Wilkins 1 inch, you don't have to do any solder work. All you're going to do is remove the old rubber washer, put the new one in place. That's the only thing you would do. You can still use the old unions and then screw it in place like this. Again, the only thing is make sure you follow the right direction for the water. It enters from here, it exits from here. And same thing on the top. Just like that. Imagine the pipe comes from the bottom and exits from the top. All you need to do is just unscrew these two. Pull the old one out. Then put the new washers and screw everything back in place. That will be it. Now, as you see here, I have the Wilkins and also the Watts. Now, if you have the Watts, that's 1 inch, just like this one is 1 inch. It won't work. You cannot install Wilkins in place of Watts and vice versa because it has a different thread step. It just doesn't work. It doesn't fit. Now, if you want to go from Watts to Wilkins, what you will have to do is actually you'll have to unsolder those fittings alongside the nuts. But remember, every time you do that, when you remove the old union and the nut, make sure you first put the nut and then the union and solder it, because quite often we make mistakes. We solder the union without sliding over the nut first, and then it just doesn't go through. You know, you have to have the nut first down here before you solder the union. Put the new rubber washers, tighten it, and it's all good. Now, as far as reliability goes, the two major brand names available in the United States are Wilkins and Watts. Now, this is the Watts, and they have been problematic. They work, they maintain low pressure, but they hum. They hum or buzz, they make noises. So sometimes I'll have customers call me, they say something is wrong with my pipes, I get this humming noise. When pressure regulators make those noises, it's very strange because it sounds like it's coming somewhere else in the house. Like you may think it actually sounds like it's coming from everywhere in the house. But the starting point for the noise is right here by the pressure regulator, but because the noise transmits over the pipes. It sounds like it's coming from everywhere. Anyways, if you want to replace your pressure regulator, if you replace it with like-for-like regulator, you can just swap the rings, the washers, and that way you don't have to do any solder work. But if you want to go from Watts to Wilkins or from Wilkins to Watts, you'll have to have some solder work. Maybe you will have to get a plumber for that. Now, if you think this is something you can handle yourself, please check down below in the description. I will be adding Amazon links to the pressure gauge I use, to the pressure regulators I have shown you today, as well as the wrenches I recommend for this kind of work. All right, guys, if you think this video was valuable to you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified the next time I upload one of those helpful do-it-yourself videos. Thank you. See you next time.